So my topic was why steroids and performance-enhancing drugs should be legal in Major League Baseball. Okay, the history of baseball is it's always known as America's pastime, and a lot of baseball fans and media like to portray it as very innocent game, very fun game for everyone. But that is very far from the truth. It's always been rigged with a lot of cheating, and it really is basically just a cheater's game. Basically, since the beginning of this sport, players have always been cheating, whether it be with spitballs, cork bats. Um, Pitchers will put pine tar in their gloves. If you guys don't know what pine tar is, that's a very it's a sticky substance that players will put on their bat, which will help them get a better grip. But if pitchers can rub that on the ball, when they throw the ball, it'll weight the ball differently, so it'll go at a different trajectory, and then throw the hitters off, obviously. And all these are illegal, but it's never been really looked down upon like steroids have been. And it's also been going on for. In the 1890s to the early 1900s, John McGraw was a third baseman, and what he would do, I don't know if you guys know the rules of baseball, but say there's a fly ball and there's a runner on base, they have to wait until the ball's been caught to advance a base. It's called tagging up. And back then there was only one umpire. There was only one umpire by home plate. So what he would be doing was watching to see whether the ball was caught. And what John McGraw would do was he would hold the runner on third base, he would hold their bell strap so they couldn't run, or he would trip them. So then when they got up to run, they would get out of the plate, they wouldn't score. And eventually he was caught doing this, but he was only given 3-game suspension. So that's a lot different now when players get caught using steroids for the first time and they receive a 50-game suspension. Ty Cobb, who is the all-time leader in batting average in the MLB, also probably the most illegal thing that anyone's done, he would sharpen the spikes on his cleats. So when he would slide into bases, what he would do was, it's called going cleats up. So he would slide, and where the fielder was tagging him, he would put his spikes right into their hands or their glove. And so they would either avoid tagging him so he would get the base, or he would just injure them and cut them off with the metal spikes. Nels Potter was the first player ever to be suspended for throwing the spitball. The spitball is very similar to what I was saying about putting pine tar on the ball. Pitchers will lick the ball, spit on the ball, lick their fingers, and then rub it on the ball, and it will have the same effect of the different trajectory coming out of the pitcher's hand, which will then in turn throw off the bat. The Chicago Black Sox were the only player, the 8 men out is what they're referred to as, were the only players to ever receive a lifetime ban from baseball. And they were given a lifetime ban because in the 1919 World Series, they were very heavily favored to beat the Cincinnati Reds. So what happened was, Arnold Rothstein, who is a Jewish mobster out of New York, ended up fixing the World Series. So basically all of him and his gangsters won a lot and lots of money because obviously the Chicago White Sox were heavily favored. And these 8 men were the only players that were able to be proven guilty of throwing the World Series, so they were given the death penalty, so to speak, and they were kicked out. Now, if you look at today's players, you have players like David Ortiz and Alex Rodriguez, Jason Giambi, Sammy Sosa. I would argue that every single one of you in here recognizes at least one of those names. And all of them have been convicted of using steroids. And some of them are now retired. But players like Alex Rodriguez could also be serving a lifetime ban for steroids. We'll find that out probably this winter or maybe next spring. And he would be the 9th player to ever be kicked out of Major League Baseball. And in my opinion, I do not think steroids is nearly as bad as throwing the World Series. I don't know if anyone else would. The only reason why steroids steroids are looked so down upon is because basically technology. Players have always used every available resource they have been able to get away with cheating. Like I said with the pine tar, sharpen the cleats. But nowadays, when we have a lot more technology available to us, there are anabolic steroids and medical supplements that you can take that will make you stronger and give you more power and agility and hand-eye coordination. They refer to the 1990s and the early 2000s, and even the late 1980s as the steroid era of baseball. But before the steroid era, Major League Baseball, while it was a popular sport, lacked in ratings greatly to the NFL, and it fell behind the NBA. Not very much, but it was the third most popular sport. The attendance ratings were down, the television ratings were down, ticket prices were down, not much merchandise was sold, and basically it just wasn't a very marketable sport. But then, when the steroid era came around, that totally revamped the sport, gave it new excitement that it had not seen in decades, and fans just really came alive and got attracted to it. Jerseys could not stay on the shelves. Players like Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa, who broke the home run records in the 90s, their jerseys would sell faster than you believe. And basically, baseball just got totally alive again because of the steroid era. Since then, though, it has dropped. It is still more popular than the NBA slightly, but ever since steroids have been eliminated from the MLB, popularity has dropped substantially. And there's really no other reason why other than the fact that steroids have since been banned. The media can generally portray anything the way they want it to just because they have so much power behind the television and the radio. And because there was such a backlash of steroids initially when people first discovered the use of them in the MLB, it has always been such a negative connotation that's been spoken among steroids. And recently that's been kind of changing. Some MLB officials and even a few owners now of the MLB are lobbying to bring back steroids because of the popularity that they had when they were in the league. Bob Castanelli, who is the Reds owner, and John J. Fisher, who is the owner of the Oakland A's, have both been quoted as saying that they think that Major League Baseball with steroids has a lot of potential for growth, and it could even overtake the NFL for the most popular sport. And at the end of the day, baseball is a business, just like the NFL, NBA, every major sport, the NHL, it's a business. The owners want money, they want merchandise sales, they want ticket sales, and they want television viewership. And when steroids were in baseball, they had all of that, and since then, it's been dropping every year. But if they were to bring it back, it would absolutely rise again. In conclusion, I think that performance-enhancing drugs should absolutely be allowed in Major League Baseball. They are proven just as often to injure players as they were to allow players like Barry Bonds and Mark McGwire to break home run records. And really, it's the player's choice when it comes down to it. MLB has a lot stricter drug testing policy than other sports because of what happened in the 90s, the steroids era. But if you look at the NFL, for example, they'll be caught taking steroids and they'll receive a 4-game suspension for first offense. Whereas the MLB, you can serve a 50 minimum or even 100 sometimes. So it's really the player's choice. If they think that it will give them a benefit, they should be able to take them. And those are just a few of the choices I use.
Any questions? Leave the time out at this point. Any questions? No, sorry, hit the time.
Yeah, I got time.
So stop the time and then any questions? What's a cork bat?
A cork bat is when, okay, it, you have to use wood bats. So they'll take the end of the bat and they'll drill into it so the wood will come out. And then they will take pieces of cork and they'll shove it down into the bat. Or they'll even take sometimes like bouncy balls or rubber balls and they'll put them in the bat. And then they'll recap the bat. So then the bat is much lighter and the ball bounces off the bat a lot more than it would with regular wood. The only negative effect to a cork bat though is it can cause it to break much easier. It makes it much weaker. The more cork you put in, the more weaker it is. Sammy Sosa was actually caught with a cork bat in 2003, I believe, and since then no one's been caught, but that's a pretty good defense in my opinion.
Yeah, if, I'd like to hit a ball with a cork bat
Oh,
sometime,
yeah.
just to see what
His
the...
defense was that it was a bad practice bat to put on a show for the fans.
I see.
Not too many people really bought, but that was what he
Well, he had some backup. The issue that I have with it is that it transfers down to the youth. And can you comment on that? I mean, what you're saying is that they should be allowed to do it because it makes them better, they can make decisions, but what about the possibility of it coming down, trickling down to, the younger people who think that this is the only way to, way to go? That's the thing that bothers me most, personally. But
See, I think by legalizing it, it will prevent that more than anything. I had a cousin who played in the farm system for the Cardinals, and he said basically every single player in the minor leagues is taking steroids because they wanted their shot at going to the MLB, and they figured that was the quickest and easiest way to get them there. But I feel like if they are legal, um, less players will feel the need to take them because there's a lot more research now about how it can cause injuries. During the steroid era, the injury percentage and the length of injury, the average length of injury was far greater than it is now. And they attribute that to steroids. Because even though you're given godlike muscles, your muscles, while they are bigger, they are weaker because it's not natural strength, it's artificial strength. So it's really not always a benefit. So when people say the only reason why Mark McGwire and Barry Bonds were getting all those home runs, it wasn't just steroids. It just gave them more power because they had strong arms. They still need the hand-eye coordination and the bat speed and all that. They need a fundamental swing to hit home runs.
thank you.